Hello everyone, this is part 2 of What If Naruto Told Hinata His Secret, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. 2 weeks had passed since Uchiha Sasuke had been returned to Konoha. According to reports, he should be waking up from extreme chakra depletion any time today. This was but one of the many topics of gossip floating around the city. Did you hear that Uzumaki Naruto is back? One villager would say. Yeah, did you hear that he brought back both Uchihas, and Kei the older one? Another would say. I heard that Hiashi attacked the Hyuga council, because they did something to him. No, it was because they married his daughter off, I think. This form of banter would continue for a while, until all parties would become bored, or something else would come up. In the days after the mission to return Sasuke, those who had been there, were constantly hounded with questions surrounding the death of Itachi, and the return of the youngest Uchiha. One person was noticeably absent from the questioning. Hyuga Hinata had, upon returning, gone immediately to her father's bed in the hospital until he regained consciousness. He had awoken, the day after the party's return, and was dismissed from the hospital a day later. Tsunade had asked him about the fight during his day of rest. Although she had a good idea of what had transpired, she needed to have some kind of a record. Hinata sat in a chair, during her father's testimony. She was shocked to hear that he had taken on the council, for her. After Tsunade left, there was a moment of awkward silence as Hinata pondered over her father's actions. Flashback. Hinata, Hiashi broke the tense silence. I wish to apologize, for the way I have been treating you. The council had convinced me that you would be able to use the power inside of you to fight. When you couldn't, I made the incorrect assumption that you were weak. I believed that the council had wanted me to disown you, so that they could brand you with the Bunk, Hyuga cursed seal, and control you. I was blinded by their words, and was unable to see you as I should have, as my daughter. I am truly sorry that you have had to live your life as the pawn of old and decrepit men, and myself. I hope that you can forgive me for my atrocities. Hinata was quite surprised by her father's admission. The first thing she had learned under the Nibi was how to read people based on their posture and mannerisms. Her father was sincerely sorry for what had happened to her. It's all right, father. She said. Thank you, Hinata, I know it must be difficult to comprehend right now, but I only wished for you to achieve your highest potential. Hiashi stated, his head bowed slightly. Now, I heard from Hokage-sama that you defeated the head of the council by yourself. Is that true? Hi, father, I did beat him, although I was forced to call on the Nibi's chakra. Tsunade-sama changed the seal, so that I could draw off some of its chakra, like Naruto-kun. That is very impressive, even though you had to use the demon's chakra. You did a good job, Hinata. End flashback. Since then, Hiashi had been very supportive of Hinata, and Hinata had become more confident in her abilities and in herself as a result. Which was how she ended up on a date with Uzumaki Naruto. Well, a date might be a bit of an exaggeration. Although he had become closer friends with the Hyuga heir, Naruto was still clueless as to her feelings. As much as she loved him, he was oblivious. In fact, as the two were eating ramen together, waiting for Sasuke to awaken, Naruto was clueless to everything around him. Over the past 2 weeks, he had slowly begun to drift away from Sakura. He still felt love for her, although it seemed that she was very happy with Lee, and he wasn't one to pry them apart, simply for his own gain. A Hokage must put the good of the many before the good of themselves, he repeated in his head. As he slowly drifted away from Sakura, he was beginning to gravitate towards a certain indigo-haired, white-eyed girl. He just didn't realize that she shared his feelings. They finished up their ramen. Hinata had 1 bowl, while Naruto ate 6 bowls, and headed towards the hospital to check on Sasuke. When they arrived, Tsunade and Kakashi were entering the room. Hey Kakashi-sensei, is he awake yet? Asked Naruto from across the hallway. Yo, replied Kakashi with his usual greeting, he just woke up and Hokage-sama is going to figure out his punishment. You two should stay outside, we don't know how he will respond if he sees you right now. With that, Kakashi entered the room, leaving the two to wait. Naruto and Hinata sat down in uncomfortable hospital chairs in silence. After a while, Hinata had to leave to join her team for a short mission. Naruto wished her luck and waited for Tsunade to finish up with Sasuke. Inside the room, the mood was tense. Tsunade had inspected the seal that Itachi had sacrificed himself to place over Orochimaru's cursed seal, and was surprised by it. It would keep all influences, mental and physical, from tainting the boy. Sasuke was awake and waiting when the two entered his room. He was scared of the godime and felt a sickening sensation when he looked at Kakashi. Uchiha Sasuke, you are charged with treason for fleeing this village and joining the ranks of Orochimaru. You were branded an A-class missing nin, for fleeing with an important bloodline limit, and were to be captured or were any shinobi of this village to see you. As I am sure you are aware, the penalty for treason is death. Tsunade stated. However, due to the insistence of a number of your former comrades and friends, I will offer you a chance to explain your actions to me, and if I find something reasonable in them, a new punishment may be handed down. Sasuke was surprised at the news. He was sure he would be killed for abandoning Konoha, and was even more shocked to find that he still had people in the village that counted him as a friend. I can't shed any blame for my actions. After the mission to Tea Country, I saw how powerful Naruto had become, and it angered me. Well, not anger really, more like, I was mad because he did something that I couldn't. It didn't make any sense. He's supposed to be the last, not, he can't do. Sasuke stumbled over his words as he continued on, not sure what happened, now that he was looking over his actions. Can you tell me what made you hate Naruto? Interrupted Kakashi. The fight on the roof, after you threw our attacks into the water tanks, I was sure that I had won, because the hole around my arm was bigger, but then I saw the back of Naruto's tank. It had been completely demolished, like something had blown up inside of it. That's when it hit me, that he had gotten stronger than me, and it wasn't fair. Sasuke yelled those words so loudly that Naruto heard him outside. It's my fault that he left. Naruto thought sadly. Maybe I should tell him, if he knows about the Kyuubi, then maybe he won't hate me anymore. Back in the room, things weren't looking good for Sasuke. He hadn't told them anything that they didn't already know, and his actions were completely his own. Sasuke, I'm ashamed that you did this because Naruto was stronger than you. Just because he was branded as last doesn't mean anything. If you thought that losing to the Rasengan was some kind of travesty, you should know who created that attack. That is the Yondaime Hokage's signature attack, and even the Chidori is not as powerful as the Rasengan. Kakashi said, a tint of sadness marring his voice. That struck home with Sasuke. If it was really the fourth Hokage's attack, then there was nothing to be ashamed about. The fourth is the greatest Hokage that ever lived, and if it was his signature attack, then there is way that a Chidori could ever beat it, probably. It was at this point that a knock came at the door. When Tsunade gave clearance for whoever was outside to enter, the door opened, and revealed an old man with white spiky hair. Oh, so he's up now, good thing too. If he was out any longer, I might have thought he was D. The man exclaimed. Sasuke, this is Jiraiya, another of the Sannin, like Orochimaru and I, said Tsunade. He has been training Naruto for the past 3 years, and knows him the best. So was the Gaki right? Jiraiya asked Tsunade, still eyeing Sasuke. From the looks of things, yes. Sasuke got jealous of Naruto after a fight they had, and well, you know the story from there. Replied the Hokage. You're lucky kid, Jiraiya said, directing the remark at Sasuke. That idiot apprentice of mine spent the last 3 years training with me, and the last year of that was spent on seals, partly for his own gain, but mostly for yours. He figured out that the seal you had was blowing your emotions out of control. It turned relatively innocent jealousy into hate, and that made you leave. How much of the second fight you had, do you remember? Asked the old man. The seal was affecting my mind, thought Sasuke, but I thought that the seal Kakashi placed over it should have stopped it. I can remember fighting Naruto and Lee, and then Itachi stopped my attack, and did something. After that I can't remember anything. Replied the boy. Itachi used a variation of the Fujihuan evil sealing technique that was originally placed over the seal. But instead of relying on the will of the person, To whom it is attached, it relies on another source, and stops all influences of the seal from spreading to you. Jiraiya explained. My brother, where is he? Where is my brother? Demanded Sasuke. Uchiha Itachi was killed during the fight, and was returned to Konoha the same as you were. In case you were wondering, it is impossible to tell who killed him, that it was impossible to tell who gave the fatal blow. Due to your previous history and the fact that, and we agree, you had the right to revenge your clan, credit will go to you for the K. Replied the Godime, in a calm voice. Sasuke was shocked to hear that. Mostly he was shocked, that even as a traitor, he was given credit for K his brother. Due to the seal's influence on your mind, you will not be however, you will be suspended as a ninja for a while, you will be supervised by Kakashi, and will have Anbu making sure that you don't attempt to repeat your earlier stunts. Explained Tsunade. Now, I believe someone outside is here to see you. With that, she opened the door, and went to find Naruto. After a few minutes of silence, the Hokage returned with the blonde boy, who had a rather dejected and sad look on his face. Upon seeing his former teammate, Sasuke immediately decided that the look didn't suit Naruto. He shut the door behind him and just looked at Sasuke. Naruto, I'm sorry for what I did to you, at the Valley of the End. I was just so angry at you, for being better than me that I snapped and ran. Sasuke said. No, Sasuke, I should be the one to apologize, if I could have told you, if I could have kept my power, I heard what you said earlier and I'm the one who is sorry. Naruto tried to explain. I just want you to know, that to gain power, you really have to give up something. I hope you realize that, now. Naruto went to leave the room when Sasuke's voice echoed through the room. If you don't mind, what did you give up for the power you have? I know that you work hard, but so do I and I can't get anywhere near your level. What did you do? He asked. Naruto froze in his tracks. His shoulders tensed up and he looked over at the boy lying in the bed. Sasuke, normally, I wouldn't do this, but if it helps you to come to grips with the past, then maybe it should have been done earlier. I just want you to swear to all of us in this room right now, that whatever happens, it stays between us. At least for right now. Naruto spoke in a slow and deliberate tone of voice that conveyed the emotional battle in his mind right now. Sasuke looked around the room at the other three people present. They all had looks of surprise on their faces, and a little bit of pain as well. Whatever Naruto had in mind, it must be big. Sasuke nodded to the blonde boy and waited for the answer to the question that drove him away. You know the story about the Kyuubi, attacking the village and the Yondaime defeating it at the cost of his own life, correct? That story is just a fabrication of the truth. The Kyuubi attacked and the Yondaime did defeat the demon. But he didn't or couldn't kill it, so he sealed it inside of a newborn child. He sealed it inside me. I carry the most deadly demon known to this world in me, and have since I was born. It wasn't until Mizuki told me that I was aware of it. As a result of the Kyuubi, the people of this village hate me. Since I entered the academy, I have had rocks thrown at my apartment nightly, people glare at me with disgust in public, and I am not welcome in over half of the stores in Konoha. People don't see me as Uzumaki Naruto, they see me as the Kyuubi no Kitsune that attacked 15 years ago, and cost the Yondaime his life. I haven't given up things, as much as I have been deprived of them since before I can remember. As Naruto's speech concluded, Sasuke was left dumbstruck. His own teammate was the vessel for the nine-tailed demon and he didn't know. Sasuke was sucked into his own thoughts so deeply that he didn't notice Naruto leave the room. Only when Kakashi spoke up did he return to reality. Sasuke, I hope that you can see that Naruto is right. He has had more taken away than all of us for the power he carries inside of him, and as payment for holding the most feared demon in check, he is loathed by the town. Yet he trains and works as much as is possible. He wants to become Hokage so that they will have to respect him. It isn't some kind of childish dream. In all reality, I doubt if the townspeople will ever respect him if he doesn't become Hokage. True strength can only be attained by giving. Naruto has come to realize that over the past few years, and I hope that you can learn that too. He left without another word. Soon after, Jiraiya left, claiming that there was more research to be done, leaving only the Hokage and one confused and puzzled boy. He thinks of you like the brother he never had. Tsunade said quietly. He would protect you until he was dead if it came it. I want you to think about something while I'm gone. You wanted two things when you became a genin. To revenge your clan and then to repopulate it. You've accomplished one, and thanks to Naruto, your life has been saved so that you can complete your second goal. I hope that something you have heard today has sunk in, and that I made the correct decision in not turning you over to a council to decide your punishment. What Naruto told you is an S-class secret and cannot be told to anyone. If you do, you will be arrested, and my ruling today will be overthrown. In short, if you tell anyone about the Kyuubi, then you will be K. She left the room, and Sasuke was left to ponder all of the things he had learned. There was a lot of information to go through. Sasuke stayed up late into the night thinking about what Naruto had said about how to gain power. As he drifted to sleep, Sasuke let his mind come to its own conclusion. To be strong is to protect those who are precious to you. To be powerful requires that you give up something. That is how I shall live my life. I will protect that which I care about, and now that Itachi is D, I can give up on that ambition and focus on my others. I only hope that the others will see me like Naruto does. It will be a long time before anyone trusts me again. That is what I have given up. I gave up my friend's trust. I will never do that again. I have been given a chance to atone for my sins, and I plan on taking that chance. As his eyes closed, Sasuke found a new peace about his life. Without his brother hanging over him anymore, Sasuke felt a great weight lifted off his shoulders. Tomorrow he would start to regain the trust he had lost from the village. When Sasuke awoke the next day, images of the previous day flooded his mind. There was Naruto telling him that he had the Kyuubi sealed within him for the past 15 years. That single fact was weighing heavily on Sasuke's mind. If I knew he had the Kyuubi, then I never would have left. There's no way I can hope to come close to the amount of chakra Naruto must have. If the fourth couldn't K it, then there is no way in hell that I can K it. I'm one selfish bastard. Sasuke's thoughts were interrupted by a checkup from Tsunade and the news that he couldn't leave for a few more days, but he was allowed some visitors, although they would be limited to his former team. Surprisingly enough, the first one to show up was Naruto. The blonde had come in case Sasuke needed to talk about what he had learned. Initially, that is how the conversation began. But after half an hour of talking about the Kyuubi and Naruto, the conversation shifted towards the village. Say, Naruto, how are all of the others? I'm kinda surprised that Sakura hasn't shown up yet. Sasuke joked. Well, I've been out training for the past 3 years, and I just got back a few days ago, but from what I can tell, they're all fine. Neji is a Junin, and everyone else is a Chunin, except for me. I think the reason that Sakura-chan isn't here is because she started dating Rock Lee. She seems pretty happy. Naruto recapped his talks with the other former rookies. Sakura and Lee asked a shocked Sasuke. I do not want to think about what their kids would look like. Yeah, just imagine it. Pink fuzzy brows, exclaimed Naruto. Both teenagers found this extremely hilarious and spent the next minute or two laughing. Do you think that they'll hate me? Sasuke asked after regaining his composure, instantly the light mood. I don't know, Sasuke. I doubt that Sakura will, and I don't. I doubt that Shino will, but then again, no one can tell what he's feeling. I think that the 5 of us that went off after you the first time might think you a great big idiot, but I doubt anyone will hate you. Heck, I bet Ino tries to ask you out within 20 minutes of you leaving this place. I hope you're right, Naruto. I really do, because I'm going to gain all of their trust back, said Sasuke. Naruto took a look at the clock on the wall and realized that he had to meet with Tsunade in a few minutes. Hey, I've got to meet with Tsunade-chan in a few minutes, but after that I'll try to make it back here. As Naruto moved towards the door, he stopped and without turning around said, Sasuke, you are like the brother I never had. If you need anything while you're here or even after you get out, just find me. With those words, Naruto left, leaving Sasuke to his thoughts once again. Naruto waited outside Tsunade's office. She was meeting with some representatives from Suna and was about to finish up. When the representatives left, Shizune motioned for Naruto to enter. Naruto walked into the room and saw that the Hokage was smiling. Meeting go that good? He asked. Well, it went all right, but I've never been great with diplomacy. I called you here for a bit of good news. Since you retrieved Uchiha Sasuke, I'm going to officially promote you to Chunin, And before you say anything, I would have promoted you to Junin, based on Jiraiya's report, but since the Junin exams are in a couple of months, I think you can gain the La then. With that, she handed Naruto a Chunin vest. Thanks, Bar-chan, I'll definitely enter the next Junin exam, and kick everyone's ass too. Replied the overly exuberant boy before a fist connected with his face. What have I said about calling me that? The Hokage yelled. Unbeknownst to Konoha and at the exact moment Naruto was being promoted, the remaining members of Akatsuki were meeting. The leader of the shadowy organization spoke first. Although this was uncharacteristic of the leader, not too many people would know it. But the members of Akatsuki did. If the leader was speaking, then something bad had happened. As you can see, Itachi and Kisame are not here. That is because they were killed while attempting to capture the two-tailed demon. This caused a large amount of chatter to break out between partners. Also, as you may notice, Deidara is missing. She failed in her mission to capture the one-tails and was killed by him. Sasori has already moved to replace her, but I fear that time will not allow this. With 3 of our members D, and the return of the nine-tailed brat, I believe that we must abandon our earlier plans. If we do not capture him now, then he may grow too powerful and all will be lost. I want the 5 of you remaining to capture the QB vessel within the next month. The Junin exams are coming, and although it would provide the perfect opportunity to take him and the two tails, we must act swiftly, before he is out of our grasp. As he is now, only the 5 of you have a hope to take him alive. He has released 4 out of the 9 tails, and it only took 3 to kill Kisame and Itachi. With those instructions, the leader's shadowy figure disappeared, leaving the 5 remaining members to sort out the plans. When Naruto entered Sasuke's room, Sasuke was shocked to see the blonde boy sporting his newly acquired vest. Chunin now, eh? Asked the black-haired boy. Yep, and Bar-chan said she would have made me a Junin, but since the exams are only a few months off, she wants me to take the test. Replied Naruto. I'm sorry, but this is gonna have to be kinda short. I promised someone I'd meet them in a little bit. So is there anything you know? No, I'm fine, but I am interested. Who are you meeting? Asked Sasuke. Hinata and I are going to train for a while. I told her I'd help her with some stuff. Came Naruto's reply. Sasuke just smiled as Naruto exited the hospital for the second time that day. Maybe you'll finally get it, he thought. Hinata was waiting at the training field where Team 7 used to meet. She was waiting for Naruto, but in the meantime, she was occupied with Sakura. Sakura-san, did YYUK know that Naruto-kun's birthday is in a week? The shy girl asked. What? It is. Obviously Sakura didn't know. Jigamen, I thought why you'd know, since he is your teammate. You don't have to apologize, Hinata, but please, quit calling me Sakura-san, it makes me feel old. I wonder why he never told us. Generally you want to celebrate these kinds of things. Maybe it's because it's the same day as the festival. Hinata said, knowing full well why he didn't tell anyone. We should throw a party or something, shouldn't we? Asked Sakura. That would be nice. Responded Hinata. Why don't you invite all of his FFR friends and I'll help you place plan. Just then Naruto arrived and all talk of a party vanished. The 2 girls both noticed Naruto's new Chunin vest and complimented him on his new rank and achievement. Sakura left, making up some excuse about taking Lee out shopping for something that wasn't green spandex. Hinata-chan, how has training with your demon been? I haven't heard anything, I was just hoping it was going fine. Ventured Naruto. Oh, it's fine Naruto-kun. The Nibi is teaching me a lot about medicine, especially what kinds of plants can be used for what. I've also learned some other stuff, but most of the material is medicine related. She answered. That's great, the Baka Kitsune doesn't teach me anything, although I don't know where he would find the time, between threatening to kill me and everything I hold dear, and yelling at me. He joked. The 2 trained until lunch, when Hinata had to return home, for training with her father. He had taken a new interest in her training, now that she could control the chakra of the Nibi. He had lowered his standards a bit, but with the huge amount of chakra, plus a few tips from the Swan Demon, Hinata was shattering the new and old standards into pieces. Hiashi couldn't have been more proud of his daughter, because she was finally becoming the heiress he knew she would. After the defeat of the council, a new council had been formed, albeit a weaker one. Now the Hiashi was in control of the destiny of the Hyuga, and not relying on a group of old senile men. Although there were some who disapproved of the changes, they were in the minority. No one paid any attention to the remaining conservatives, because they welcomed the new Hiashi and more confidant heiress with open arms, and there was much rejoicing. Now the aforementioned group of conservatives, who didn't support the new way, were scheming something. Exactly what no one was sure of, and due to their secretive nature, no one even knew that they were scheming anything. But a plan was being hatched as the two demon vessels went on the divergent paths. There was only one part missing, and then they could act. History books would later show that had the dissenters been more informed on the state of the Hyuga, or had they simply thought of this plan 3 years earlier, then they might have succeeded. Instead, they attempted to convince Hyuga Neji that it would be in his best interest to kill his younger cousin. Needless to say, the Hyuga genius declined their offer, and proceeded to beat the members of this group into submission. The greatest part of the fight wasn't Neji's use of Hakushu, Rokushu Yonshu, but the look on the faces of the main house members, when they tried to activate the caged bird seal placed on his forehead. Ironically, the seal had only been removed that morning as a favor to Hinata. When Hinata entered the compound, she found her father and Neji discussing the attempted coup. Training began with a warm-up spar between Hiashi and the two cousins, one at a time. He was very impressed by the two. Where Neji was very powerful, he would at times be slightly off-center in his strikes. Hinata wasn't as powerful, but she was far more accurate. Day after day, Hinata would meet Naruto, and then return to train with her family. Soon a week had passed, and it was October 10th. Hinata and Sakura had found out that the hard part of having a birthday party on the day of a major festival was getting everyone in one place long enough to hold a decent party. Eventually, they had gotten everyone to agree to a noon party, so that they could have lunch and the party at the same time. Now the problem was getting the birthday boy to come. The original idea had been to have Tsunade summon him under the pretense of a mission, or meeting, but she had slept in late and hadn't had time to send a note. Since Kakashi couldn't be trusted to leave and return in a timely fashion, and Sakura had to finish decorating, the job fell to Hinata. She had made her ways through the throngs of people celebrating the defeat of the demon and reached Naruto's apartment. Knocking, she waited for the boy to answer. "Who's there?" he called through the door. "It's me, Naruto-kun," Hinata said, but the noise from the festivities drowned out her voice. "Either you left, or you need to speak up, 'cause I couldn't hear you," came Naruto's reply. "It's me, Naruto-kun, please open the door," the girl yelled over the noise. Recognizing the voice as Hinata's, he cautiously opened the door, and ushered her into the house. "It's good to see you, Hinata-chan, I don't usually go out today." "What do you need?" he asked. "Hokage-sama wanted you to meet her in her office," she lied. "Okay, but we'll need to think of a way to get there without me being spotted. People tend to get pissy at me today. I guess they don't like being reminded that what they're celebrating just walked past them," he said rather dejectedly. A few minutes later, Hinata and Naruto were leaping across roofs in an attempt to reach Tsunade's office. They reached the office without incident and waited to enter. Shizune told them that Tsunade was meeting with someone, but in reality Sakura was finishing up decorating. When they were finally allowed to enter, Naruto was met by a collective "Happy birthday." Looking around the room, all of the Rookie 9 and Guy's team were there, along with Konohamaru and his friends, Mogi and Udon. The room was decorated with orange streamers, pinned to the wall with kunai, and there was a large cake with a large swirl design decorating the top. Naruto was actually struck dumb at the sight. It was the best birthday party he had ever been to, although he didn't really have anything to compare it to. Ramen was served for lunch, and it was all Hinata and Tsunade could do to stop an eating contest between Naruto and Choji from breaking out and bankrupting the town. After lunch, Naruto received his many gifts and then the large group dug into the cake. The party lasted an impressive 5 hours. At 6 everyone wished Naruto a happy birthday one more time before joining the festivities. Except for Naruto, Tsunade and Hinata and Sasuke. The 3 remaining guests and resident birthday boy cleaned up the office before heading home. Tracing their exact route from before, Hinata and Naruto returned to the apartment and Naruto invited Hinata in for a while. He placed his mountain of gifts in his room and headed back to Hinata, who was sitting in the kitchen, waiting for some water to boil for tea. Thank you, Hinata-chan, this was the best birthday ever. Naruto said, grinning. You're welcome, Naruto-kun, it was nothing really. She replied, blushing slightly at the compliment. Man, is she cute when she blushes. Naruto thought, bringing a slight blush to his cheeks. Maybe I should tell her how I feel. I mean, she did throw this party for me, and I really do like her. But just as he was about to confess his innermost feelings for the shy girl, the water began to boil and she went to take it off the stove. Over tea, the two talked about different things, from new jutsus to gossip. But after a couple of hours, Hinata had to leave. I'm sorry, Hinata, I don't think I can walk you home tonight. I'm afraid that the villagers might take out their frustrations on you. Naruto said. No, it's okay, Naruto-kun, I understand. Besides, it's not that late yet, so I'll be fine. He walked her to the door, and suddenly pulled her into a hug, thanking her for the party. The shy girl blushed a furious shade of red at the close contact and stammered a, "You're welcome, back." As she left and disappeared into the night, two people thought the same thing at the same time. Damn it, I couldn't tell her how I feel. The day following Naruto's birthday was a dreary one. The rain was coming down so hard that all non-essential missions and operations in the village were cancelled. As such, the former members of the Rookie Nine had the day off. Naruto went to visit Sasuke, since the Uchiha genius couldn't do much, and the majority of the group simply went home to rest. Ino and Sakura had dragged Hinata into Ino's house, since they had to meet in the Hokage's office, and the Hyuga estate was a long distance from the office. There they locked themselves in Ino's room and began questioning Hinata about her whereabouts after the party yesterday. So, Hinata, Tsunade-sensei told me that you and Naruto went to his apartment after the party. What did you two do? Sakura asked. No, nothing much, Hinata stammered. We went back and had SMT and talked about SMT things. Oh, like what kind of things? Asked Ino, sweetly. Well, we talked about TTR training and that was about it. He thanked me for the party though. Hinata answered. Oh, and how did he thank you? Asked Sakura with an evil look in her eye that said, I know, but I'm gonna torture you until you tell us anyways. Well, he hugged me. She said, so quietly that no one heard her. What was that, Hinata? I couldn't hear you, speak up. Said Sakura. He hugged me. The shy girl answered, blushing. As the other two girls continued to press for information, Hinata eventually opened up a little bit. Hey, Hinata, I heard some rumors that your father attacked the Hyuga Council the night before we left to get Sasuke back, is that true? Asked Sakura. Hi, although I can't tell you why, because it is a Hyuga matter. She replied. As the three girls were talking and gossiping in Ino's house, Tsunade was doing paperwork. Normally she would have been very angry, but this was interesting. It was the autopsy report of Uchiha Itachi. The body of Uchiha Itachi is in such a condition that it is hardly recognizable. There is a hole in his left side and another in his back. The hole on his side is clean through his body, however the attack to his back is deep, but not entirely through. There is also a hole in his chest from a Chidori. Between these attacks and the use of his life as seal fortification for the Fuja Huan, it is impossible to determine the fatal attack. Note: the body contains what appears to be a version of the Hyuga Bunk Juinjutsu. Upon his death, the Sharingan ability has sealed itself up. His body sports the Anbu tattoo as well as another one. The final tattoo appears to be a perfect copy of the seal used to imprison the Kyuubi inside of Uzumaki Naruto. Personal articles: aside from the clothing, the body contained only two personal effects. Both are scrolls, one is addressed to the Hokage, and the other is addressed to Uchiha Sasuke. Both are enclosed with the report. It was then that Tsunade shifted her attention to the two scrolls, spattered with B. She took the one addressed to her, and began to read. Inside was a description of the Akatsuki's plans and why they are interested in the vessels of the tailed beasts. What she read was not in the least bit good. Hyuga Hiashi was meeting with the new council. He found the new council much more willing to implement change than the old one, and was grateful for it. As the discussion on the last item ended, Hiashi moved to end the meeting. However, the head of the new council spoke up. Hiashi-sama, we have one last order of business for the day and it concerns your daughter. As you know, 16 is considered the legal age for marriage here, and before you get the idea that we are trying to marry her off, please hear us out. In light of her newfound power, we do not think that it would be safe for her to stop her instruction, but we wish for the clan to at least have its future secure, at least in all outward appearances. What we ask, is that by Hinata-sama's 17th birthday, she have a fiancé. We will not force her to marry anyone she doesn't want to, nor will we set a day for her marriage. All that we ask is that she marry someone from Konoha, and be engaged by her 17th birthday. Hiashi thought about what the council was proposing. It wasn't entirely unreasonable, actually, it was very reasonable. I will agree with only one additional term to be considered. If Hinata is considering, who I think she is, then he will not wish to marry into the family. I wish to make the marriage so that Hinata will still be the head, but that her husband isn't forced to take the Hyuga name. Other than that stipulation, I find nothing wrong in your request. He stated. Very well, I don't think there is anything wrong with that stipulation, Hiashi-sama. We will allow you to inform your daughter of the council's decision at your leisure. Replied the council head. I have but one additional question regarding this topic. Hiashi asked, will this become Hyuga tradition, or is it simply in the case of my daughter and possibly future clan heads? We have not yet decided on any long-term plans yet. After we see the results of this we will make our decision. With that, the meeting was adjourned, and Hiashi returned to his study to attend to other matters. When Hinata returned that night, Hiashi took her aside to discuss her future. What did you wish to talk about, Oto-san? Hinata asked. The council and I have reached a decision regarding the future of the clan today, and it involves you. Under the old council, you would have been married off in a few months as a political move. The new council has decided that you would benefit most from staying here and training for a time. Under the agreement, you must have a fiancé by your 17th birthday, however it can be anyone of your choice, and you do not have to be married until you are ready. Also, this boy must be a citizen of Konoha. Hinata was shocked at the news, but she was also pleased. The council wasn't trying to rule her life, and all they were asking, was that she have a fiancé in a little over a year. Plus, it could be anyone, that included Naruto, but one thing crossed her mind. Anno, father, I know it is custom for someone marrying into the clan to take the Hyuga name, but I don't know, if the PP person that I'm thinking of will like that. She said. Hiashi's face softened a bit, seeing how thoughtful his daughter could be. I have dealt with that. Should your future husband not wish to take our name, he doesn't have to, and you will still remain head of the clan. He stated. Hinata's eyes widened in surprise and happiness. Ah, really? Arigato Oto-san, she exclaimed. It's the least I could do for my daughter. He said, smiling. Now why don't you get some sleep, you'll have a tough day tomorrow. He said. Hinata simply smiled and bowed as she exited. As she drifted off to sleep, her mind kept playing images of her and Naruto doing different things, eating together, going out, and finally getting married. She fell asleep grinning. Naruto was walking back to his apartment. He had just polished off 12 bowls of ramen at Ichiraku's and was feeling particularly happy. He kept seeing Hinata in his mind. It was like a movie, visions of Hinata smiling or blushing, or both. I don't know how I could have missed her before, she's so beautiful, he thought. She's smart, and quick, and strong, plus she has those eyes. They look like pearls, or ivory, or, I don't know, but they're damn pretty. I think tomorrow I should take her out for lunch, and tell her how I feel. I hope she understands. As he entered his apartment and readied for bed, he made a promise that tomorrow he would tell Hinata that he loved her. And Naruto never goes back on a promise. The next day came with much better weather than the previous one. The sun shone brightly, only occasionally being covered by a stray cloud as Naruto and Hinata met to train. As usual, Hinata arrived earlier than her training partner. When Naruto arrived 5 minutes later and panting heavily, he saw Hinata practicing her Juken with a training log. She seemed to be deeply in thought. Hey Hinata-chan, how are you? He asked innocently, trying to see what she was thinking about. Ohio, Naruto-kun, I'm fine, I'm just thinking about something my father told me yesterday. Oh. Alright then, how about we spar a bit to warm up? The blonde asked. Hinata adopted a combative stance and waited for Naruto to make the first move. He didn't disappoint, charging directly towards her, right fist drawn back. She saw his attack easily and ducked to her right, in an attempt to land a strike to his side, but as her hand reached out, Naruto disappeared in a flash of yellow. Since her attack hit nothing, Hinata was thrown off balance. As she fell forward, Naruto reappeared in another flash, and caught her. "You okay, Hinata-chan?" he asked as he righted her into a standing position. "Hi, I'm fine, but what was that technique that you used?" she asked. "Oh, that's the shunshin or body flicker. It's the move that I used to beat Fish Face," he said. "But I thought the QB was controlling you when you did that, so how can you do it?" she asked in a perplexed tone of voice. "You know, I'm not sure, but I think it might be because of my ability." "Do you mean like a bloodline?" Hinata asked, interrupting. "Well, I wouldn't say that, mostly because I don't know my family, but whenever my body does a jutsu correctly, I can perform that jutsu perfectly again, without practicing. As far as I know, no one has ever been able to do that before, so I call it my ability," he explained. "Oh, I see. You might be right. Whenever I lean a new jutsu, it takes a long time for me to do it once correctly, and then I still have troubles with it sometimes," she replied, grinning. They continued their practice for a while longer, until Naruto suggested that they stop and go for lunch. "Nay, Hinata-chan, where would you like to go for lunch?" Naruto asked. "I don't know, what would you like?" she asked. "Well, I could go for some ramen right now, but whatever you would like would be fine." "I know, you go get some ramen, and I'll go to the dango shop across from Ichiraku and then we could go eat in the park," Hinata suggested. With their lunch plans decided, the two teenagers left to pick up their food and headed towards one of the parks in the village. As they sat and ate, Naruto's stomach was inverting itself rapidly despite having a good amount of ramen in it. "What if she doesn't like me?" he thought. "Maybe things will get really weird and we might stop being friends. Oh hell, there's no time like the present, so just do it already," he mentally screamed at himself. Hinata-chan, can I tell you something?" he stammered, scratching his neck. "Sure Naruto-kun, you can tell me anything," replied the quiet girl. "Please don't hate me, please don't hate me." He thought, well, I don't really know how to say this, so I'm gonna be kinda blunt. Hinata-chan, I think that, I love you," he blurted out very quickly. Hinata almost choked, fainted and cried when she heard Naruto's admission. Her body chose the fainting option. As Naruto caught her, and laid her down on the ground, he was worried she had choked. Hinata-chan, are you okay?" he yelled at the unconscious girl. As he was panicking, Hinata regained consciousness in time to prevent him from running to get the hokage. "I'm fine Naruto-kun, it's just that, I think I love you too," she said, her voice getting quieter after each word. Now it was Naruto's turn to almost faint. Instead, he simply fell to the ground in shock. "Ah, really?" he squeaked out. "Hi, Ashitaru Naruto-kun," she said, meekly. He just pulled her into a hug and tried to hold back tears of joy. Although Hinata was a bit surprised at the sudden contact, she quickly returned the affection, burying her head in his chest. After a minute or so, they broke the embrace, a red tint to both of their cheeks. Hinata had to return to the Hyuga estate for training, but the two agreed to go out that night to talk some more. As he watched the one he loves disappear into the distance, Naruto's only thought was, "I'm lucky to have found someone like her." Sasuke looked at the scroll he held in his hands. It was addressed to him, in his older brother's handwriting. He almost didn't want to read it, but some part of him forced him to open it up, and begin to read it. "Sasuke, if you are reading this, then congratulations, it means that you finally came me. I don't know why I'm doing this, maybe out of habit, or maybe I feel the need to explain my actions more fully. What I told you all those years ago was no lie. IKR clan to test my strength, at the time that was all I cared about. I saw what I had become, and to some extent I loathed it. I was the greatest shinobi of my generation, I had gained everything I could have wanted, yet something was missing. As time passed on, I saw you train yourself so that you could K me, it brought me a kind of ease, knowing that you lived, solely for revenge, and that one day, you might actually be able to K me. After a while, Especially after your graduation, I devised a new reason for you to live. I wished to pit my ideals against yours. I watched, as you grew closer to your teacher and teammates, and I saw that, slowly, your facade began to crack and chip. You started to see yourself as part of a family. That is why I wished you to K me. In a way, I wished to be proven wrong. I wanted to pit the strength of your family against the might of the Uchiha clan. Sadly, it seems that I may have pushed you too far. When you defected to Orochimaru, I was disappointed in you, for while I hold no attachment to our clan, I do hold some allegiance to Konoha, despite my status as its most infamous missing nin. Due to my loyalty, I couldn't let the Sharingan fall into the snake's hands. The information that you no doubt received, stating that I was near Konoha, was actually a trap to lure you away from Orochimaru, so that he wouldn't be able to possess your body. I know of your previous goals, to K me and revive the Uchiha clan. However, I want you to think about life with the clan. Yes, there were parents, and you were happy, but was there love? I didn't think so. I still don't think so. That is why I don't want you to revive the Uchiha clan. I want you to start your own family, and find love. I don't wish for another clan that only values its members only for how strong they become. I want you to have a real family, that you love, and they love you back. I hope that you will consider this as my final wish, and grant it accordingly. Uchiha Itachi. As Sasuke read over his brother's final request, he was able to gain a small amount of insight into the inner workings of his deranged brother's mind. He found a large amount of truth in the final request of his brother as well. I always felt as though father loved Itachi more than me, and mom was better, but Itachi was right. I felt no love from him as a clan. Maybe he's right about this family thing. Sasuke lost himself in contemplation over the scroll as night descended onto Konoha. While Sasuke was coming to terms with his brother, Tsunade was looking over her own scroll. Itachi's words troubled her. It seemed as though he was loyal to the leaf still. He had outlined the workings of Akatsuki, and told them how the remaining members would react to his death. All of his information seemed credible. It had confirmed what Jiraiya already knew, and then some. Although privy to many secrets of the organization, Itachi didn't know the identity of its leader, or why they wanted the demon vessels. He had specifically gone over the procedure each member was to follow in the event of a successful capture. If the vessel was cooperative, they would be allowed entrance to the organization, so that they could use its great power. If the vessel didn't want to join, then a special process was implemented. It was a two-step process. First, the soul of the demon was extracted from the host as well as the host's own soul. The demon would be carefully sealed into a member of the organization. That is why each member carried a tattoo copy of the seal that corresponded to which demon they were to control. Itachi was to have the Kyubi transferred to him, while Kisame was granted the Nibi, and a stone nin was given the Shukaku. While sealing a demon with the amount of power that the 9 different tailed beasts have would normally K an adult, the members of the Akatsuki were different. Each member had a trait that would allow them to house the demons without dying. It wasn't explained how though, and that left a few questions in Tsunade's mind. Answer: a very confused Hokage once again read over the scroll in her possession, trying to make sense of it. Hiashi was greatly impressed with Hinata's improvement. He stared his daughter over, checking her form and posture. Everything was correct. He nodded in approval and called for a break. You did very well today, Hinata. I'd say it'll only take you a month or so to master the Hakushu, Rokuju Yonshu. Thank you very much, was all she could say. She had recently quit stuttering around her father, but speaking with any kind of volume was still hard. I noticed that you were thinking a lot today. Did something happen? Hiashi asked. Hi, I'm Naruto-kun, asked me to go out tonight. She replied, blushing. Hiashi was happy for his daughter. She had finally gained the attention of the one she loved. Very well, when will he be meeting you? He asked, going from instructor to father mode very quickly. Anno, I'm not sure, we never set a time. Hinata replied, realizing that her first official date with Naruto might not happen if he didn't remember to come. Well, whenever you two leave, please be back by 11. Now, if you weren't planning on having dinner, perhaps we should join Hanabi. Hiashi replied, smiling. The aforementioned blonde was currently showering and cleaning himself up for his date tonight. I wish I had something other than my usual outfit to wear. he thought. While the black and orange shirt and black pants were good for missions, he wished he had something a little nicer, should he have to meet Hiashi. He continued to ready himself for the night until a stray thought crossed his mind. Oh crap, I didn't say what time I was going to meet Hinata-chan. With that, Uzumaki Naruto frantically finished getting dressed, and ran towards the Hyuga compound. Hinata had just finished dinner and was getting ready for her date, when Naruto arrived at the Hyuga compound. She quickly put on a Chinese-style silk shirt, colored lavender, and some black pants. Quickly brushing her hair, she hurried towards Naruto, who was waiting for her, outside the main building. Ohio, Hinata-chan, he greeted her, when she came into view. Ohio, Naruto-kun, she replied. Well, this is the first time that I've been on a date before, he said sheepishly, rubbing the back of his head, so I don't really know what to do. Is there something that you'd like to do, Hinata-chan? I already ate dinner, but, well, we could get some ice cream. The shy girl suggested. Okay, Naruto yelled, ice cream it is. Oh, by the way, you look very pretty tonight, he added, blushing a deep red. Thank you, Naruto-kun, replied Hinata. He thinks I look pretty, he mentally squealed. As the two made their way towards the closest ice cream store, they passed a shop, where Ino and Sakura were shopping. Was that Naruto and Hinata? Asked Sakura. Together. Was she dressed up? Do you think that? Are they on a date? All Ino could do was blink at the two, and then try to calm Sakura down. The two teenagers bought their ice cream, and headed to the park to eat in relative peace. Hinata-chan, how is training with you father going? Naruto asked, between bites of his ice cream. It's going fine, he started to teach me Hakushu, Rokuju Yonshu, and he thinks I'll be able to master it in about a month, but I don't know if it'll be good enough, she stated, reverting to timid Hinata. Don't say that, I'm sure it'll be great. Naruto comforted her. Hinata's face suddenly hardened with resolve. You're right, Naruto-kun, I just need to practice, and I'll learn to perform it without any problems. Exactly, Naruto replied. You just need to practice it, and with your hard work, I'm sure you'll do fine. They finished the dessert, and continued to walk around until it was time for Hinata to return home. Naruto accompanied her to the front of her house. Naruto-kun, I had a great time tonight, Hinata said, very softly. Thanks, so did I. Would you like to go out for dinner tomorrow night? He asked nervously. I'd love to, Hinata exclaimed rather loudly, eliciting a blush from the shy girl as she clasped her hands over her mouth. Okay, great, how about I pick you up around 7, or actually, when do you finish training with your father? He asked. 7 o'clock would be fine, she replied. All right, then I'll pick you up at 7. He repeated. Well, I should go now, have a good night, Hinata-chan. Good night, Naruto-kun, she replied, thank you for the evening. It was nothing, Naruto said, scratching the back of his head nervously. As he was about to leave, Hinata managed to muster enough courage to grab his arm and Hinata turned a violent shade of red, and simply said, good night, before entering the grounds to her house. For the next few minutes, Naruto stood rooted to the ground. He was in a deep state of shock after what had just transpired. He then began to walk towards his apartment in a kind of daze. He didn't notice that there was someone in front of him until he almost bumped into them. Sorry, he muttered, as he moved to the right of the road. Uzumaki Naruto, replied the figure, I wish to speak with you. Naruto looked up and almost fainted, when he realized that he almost walked into the patriarch of the Hyuga family, Hiashi. He nodded his head and followed Hiashi to his office inside the Hyuga compound. I understand that you went on a date with my daughter tonight, Hiashi stated in a neutral tone of voice. Why yes sir, we went out for ice cream and a walk around the village, Naruto replied, barely making eye contact. Hiashi stared the boy over for a minute before asking his next question. Tell me, do you care for my daughter? He asked rather bluntly. Naruto's body jerked a slight bit at the question before he answered, Hi, Hyuga-sama, I care for her a lot. Hiashi once again stared him down before continuing. Why is that? He asked plainly. Naruto thought a moment, going through all of the reasons why he loved Hinata in his head. Well, for one, She's very nice, and she's always caring for others, rather than herself. Plus, she's smart and is very good with medical things. She's always there for you whenever someone needs something, and she's loyal to a fault. He was about to continue, when Hiashi see him off. That's enough. I have something I wish to tell you. It was decided a couple of days ago, that Hinata needed to have a fiancé by her 17th birthday. I know for a fact that my daughter cares for you enough that if she had the strength of will, she would have asked you to marry her today. I don't wish to force you to do anything that you don't want to, but if you care about Hinata as much as you say, then you will reach your own conclusion, about your future. Hiashi said. Wait, you're saying that you want me to marry Hinata? Naruto asked, slightly confused. What I'm saying, is that Hinata loves you, and that she must be engaged in a year's time. To whom, is up to her. I want you to spend more time with Hinata, and if in a year, you realize that you love her, then it would honor me, if you would become engaged to Hinata. Hiashi said. Wait, you'd be honored. I thought that the Hyuga didn't like people like me. Naruto said, getting more confused by the minute. In times past, yes, you would have been forbidden from seeing my daughter, let alone marrying her. However, there is a new council, and they wish that she marry some man of her choice. She obviously chooses you, but won't say it because of her nature. I would indeed be honored to have you as a son-in-law because you bring out the best in her. You are her inspiration, and if she were to marry you, then she would undoubtedly become a great leader of the clan. I just wished for you to know about the decree by the council. Naruto was dumbstruck. He didn't know what to say. He had just received permission from Hyuga Hiashi to court his oldest daughter. He was, for the second time that night, in shock. He asked to be excused and headed towards his apartment. Hinata-chan has to be engaged by her 17th birthday, and Hiashi would be honored, if I were her fiancé. This is just weird. I do love Hinata, I really do, but, arggh, there shouldn't be any buts. I love her, she loves me. What's so hard about this? He thought. Suddenly a thought from the back of his mind popped into the foreground. I'm afraid that this is too good to be true, that maybe I don't really love her, and it's just some kind of crush. No, I'm sure that I love her, I never felt this way with Sakura-chan, or anyone for that matter. I mean, we have a year, if things don't work out, then we'll know, and then she'll be engaged to somebody else. He finished his thought on that depressing note. He walked towards his apartment door, and searched his pockets for his keys. As he unlocked his door, he once again became lost in thought. It wasn't until he closed the door, that he realized something was wrong. Feeling a small amount of chakra behind him, he spun around to find an exploding note burning itself out. As the note exploded in his face, he noticed that there was a pair of figures in his apartment. As he lost consciousness, he realized, with a tinge of horror, that they wore black cloaks with red clouds on them. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.